A very good morning, everyone. Let's keep the firepower and the zest, as we speak. Okay. So when we clap, let's clap very loud. Let's speak loud. And let's have the energy flowing around this whole ballroom here. Before I start, when I was traveling, I happened to travel to Malaysia, and I just came back supposed to come back about 4 to 5 a.m. this morning, but it overshot and I came back about 8. I was looking at, I planned my trip through AI, but it didn't work. Somehow or other, it didn't stick to the schedule that I planned. So what happened to AI, So that's where we have to look at AI from a correct perspective. Because I didn't arrive at the time that I'm supposed to arrive based on the AI. So, yeah. But of course, I took some elements of risk mitigation, and as such, could do it. So anyway, getting back to the presentation slide. It's my privilege here to speak at the Global Sustainability Conference, Singapore 2025, in a beautiful garden city here in Singapore. Yes, the place where our president lives, Istana. Yes. And today I'll be sharing insights on a topic that sits at the frontier of all global transformations, which is the convergence or potential divergence, that is, convergence or divergence between sustainability, GRC, or governance, risk and compliance, in short, and artificial intelligence. These three domains are increasingly shaping how organizations operate, how they manage their risk, and how they comply with rapidly growing regulations, and how they, of course, pursue their long-term sustainability. So the central question, or the most pertinent question here is, will we explore, which we will need to explore is, do these areas dovetail or get together into one convergent thing naturally, or will they remain as distinct disciplines that must be governed separately? That's the fundamental question in my presentation slide. Let me share a bit about myself. As you know, I'm Dr. Siva. My full name is Dr. Sivanesan Sivakaraniam. With more than 35 years of leadership experience, and I've done the corporate, the government of Singapore, and education sectors. My work has taken me deep into governance, risk management, sustainability, and even things such as quality systems and digital transformation across Singapore, Malaysia, and the ASEAN region. As Chairman and Managing Director of Raffles Education Institute in Singapore and Straits Strike Sdn Bhd in Malaysia, I work extensively in GRC, or Governance, Risk and Compliance, Sustainability Reporting, and AI Ethics, which was talked about by the previous renowned speakers, Dr. Rajamohan. I have the privilege of training thousands of professionals across ASEAN in governance, auditing, sustainability, and digitalization. And through this journey, I've come to realize that and recognize a profound shift. What is the shift? AI is no longer a standalone technology. It is increasingly embedded within governance, sustainability, and risk structures. So it's something that you cannot avoid. It is always there. So this presentation reflects those practical realities. So the research that I've done explores how sustainability, GRC, and AI interact, and whether they reinforce one another or evolve independently. I analyze case studies across ASEAN, from large corporates to public sector institutions across these, and AI is rapidly transforming sustainability performance, particularly through predictive carbon analytics, automated ESG reporting, and risk sensing, getting a sense of your risk. However, these benefits come with governance challenge. So it's not all good, we have a challenge as well. So what is the challenge? Algorithm biasness, transparency issues, data privacy, and the need for ethical accounting. These are all challenges that come along with it. So while you have a good pie, you also have to face with the challenges. So to address this, I came up with my own framework and I proposed this framework called the dovetail framework. And what this dovetail framework entails is 3 essential pillars: transparency, traceability, and trust. The triple T, I call it. In this framework allows the organizations to adopt AI responsibly while strengthening sustainability outcomes and governing maturity at the same time. The findings show that when governance is well defined and when things are well governed, AI enhances reliance, sustainability reporting, accuracy, and long-term value creation, especially in emerging digital economies like ASEAN, where we are here. So we begin by setting the broader context, which is globally sustainability, GRC, and AI, and whether they are shaping our agendas and how we dovetail these, or whether we want to remain distinct. Post-pandemic, we have seen an explosion and acceleration in digitalization, ESG commitment, and data analytics. ASEAN is uniquely positioned, balancing innovation with governance, economic growth, and sustainability. Organizations today face simultaneous pressure to decarbonize, to digitalize, and to demonstrate governance integrity. These are the challenges that organizations face. This creates both opportunity and risk. And gentlemen, and ladies and gentlemen, at this point in time, I would like to remind that when we have risk, we don't always look at the risk, we look at the opportunities that come along with the risk. In every risk, there's an opportunity. So whether we're going to look at the problem or the silver lining, the opportunity. So which is why dovetail versus distinct discussion is so important, and why I'm embraced for that. This brings me to the central question. Are sustainability, GRC, and AI moving towards a unified purpose? Something for you to ponder and think about. Or are they evolving independently, requiring different frameworks and different oversight? And critically, can AI enhance governance, or will it create new governance gaps? That's another thing to think through. These are all thought-provoking questions. And these questions guide the rest of my presentation. Sustainability today is data-driven. AI is enabling predictive analytics for carbon footprint and management and identifying emission hotspots before they become compliance issues. Machine learning is transforming waste reduction, circular economic models, and resource optimization into something new. ESG data automation improves speed, accuracy, and alignment with the standards of reporting, which is the IFRS S1 and S2 and GRI standards. This is essential as sustainability reporting is becoming more and more mandatory across markets. In Singapore, for example, besides listed companies, we're slowly dovetailing it to other companies to even start doing sustainability reporting. So it's becoming more and more eminent. GRC has evolved and transformed dramatically. Traditionally, GRC was siloed, very standalone, compliance-driven and very reactive. But today, governance expectations demand real-time insights, online real-time insights, and not being siloed or retrospective. Next generation GRC is integrated, intelligent, and connected. So AI now supports predictive compliance, early risk sensing, so looking at your risks from a predictive way rather than after it happens, on a reactive way. Continuous monitoring and automated dashboards, integrating sustainability metrics. So we have many sustainability metrics that comes about, which goes into the reporting. This shift makes governance more proactive, not reactive. AI is an enabler, but also something that you have to keep in mind. AI is also a potential risk amplifier. It increases your risk. So we have to be mindful of the double-edged sword. On the one hand, it delivers efficiency, automation, and insight. But on the other hand, ungoverned AI brings risk, bias, opaque decisions or wrong decisions made, privacy concerns, and accountability gaps. This is why AI governance frameworks are no longer optional but essential. I repeat, AI governance framework is essential. In ASEAN, we see a spectrum of readiness. Singapore leads with AI Verify, the model governance framework, and the Green Plan 2030, which we have in Singapore to bring carbon emissions down. In Malaysia, it introduced its national AI roadmap. I'm sure Malaysian delegates can verify to that. And offer ESG-linked incentives. Other emerging ASEAN nations show strong innovation but inconsistent maturity. So this creates opportunity. Whenever there's an issue, whenever there's a gap, it creates opportunity. Opportunity for what? Opportunity for harmonization, opportunity for regional leadership. Let me share real-life industry examples. For example, in the maritime and offshore industry, AI is used for vessel emission monitoring, enabling compliance with IMO standards, which is required in the maritime. In finance, banks and investors are using AI to run ESG, risk analytics, and scenario modeling. And in construction, predictive analytics enhances safety, reduces incident, and supports sustainable building practices. So, these show that practical intersection points between sustainability, GRC, and AI. So the ductile framework that I talked about earlier, which I came about, integrates the three elements essential for convergence of AI, governance, and sustainability, which is transparency, ensuring that AI decisions and sustainable data are explainable, which is traceability, enabling auditability and cross-verification of ESG matrices, and trust, embedding ethical AI and strong human oversight. This model reduces risk while enhancing value creation. We must not forget the human factor that goes along with it, and humans are still very important and still integral, even though we have the eruption of AI. The human factor remains irreplaceable. Technology amplifies human intent, it does not replace ethics or judgment, which is required from humans. So humans are not replaceable in these aspects. AI does not have the emotional element. Humans in the loop ensure designs are accountable. Governance, culture, and operational ethics remain the ultimate risk controls. So the convergence of sustainability, GRC, and AI is inevitable, but the extent of impact depends on the maturity, the governance maturity. AI governance must evolve in parallel with sustainability standards. And the future lies in connected intelligence, which is systems that co-create value responsibility. So just a quick snapshot on the key takeaways. These domains are becoming increasingly interconnected, which is AI, sustainability, and GRC. AI can drive responsible transformation, but only, and I repeat, only if it's governed well. The dovetail framework, the triple T that I was talking about earlier, provides a blueprint for alignment, and ASEAN stands at the strategic threshold to lead this. In my closing thoughts, I'd like to share something. Technology shapes our capability, governance shapes our conscience, and sustainability shapes our legacy. This is the compass of future generations and future organizations. In conclusion, it's clear that sustainability, GRC, and AI are converging into a unified force, and AI strengthening sustainability only when paired with strong governance and ethical oversight. The dovetail framework empowers organizations to unify innovation and with integrity, and ASEAN is well positioned to lead in this. The future demands systems that are intelligent, ethical, resilient, and sustainable. And the call to action is simple: build ecosystem rooted in transparency, traceability, and trust, which is my ethos of the framework that I came up. And with that, I end my presentation. Sorry for taking a bit more time. I have, actually I couldn't go through because of the interest of time, but I have some question and answer which I'll share with Dr. Halimah will share with the participants in whatever way. But if you all have any further questions, please feel free to ask me. Yeah, fine question. Yeah, fine question. Yeah. Okay, just a quick one. So I thought, maybe someone can volunteer in the interest of time so that they save the time. How can AI improve sustainability reporting accuracy in a nutshell? Can anyone answer? How can AI improve sustainability reporting accuracy? When you report your sustainability actions, the accuracy of it. How can AI improve? Yeah, good. Thank you.
You come in the picture, risk management.
But definitely human intervention is needed for that.
I'm sorry?
Human factor is equally important along with AI.
Without a doubt, human factors. So it includes things such as automated data collection, verifying inconsistency, reducing human error, and of course human factor is still very important in making the judgment, correct judgment, and strengthening the predictive analysis. A quick one, maybe one, two, one more. Okay. What is the biggest governance risk of adopting AI? What is the biggest governance risk in adopting AI? Yes, please. Just repeat yourself for the sake of the rest. Sorry, repeat from the start, please, if you don't mind.
The biggest risk that I see is that the information that we give to AI is private, and how is AI using that information, and AI is using it to help us, not the other way around.
Yes, well said, well said. Please give him a round of applause. So it lacks explainability, and without traceability, AI decisions can introduce bias and ethical risk as well. I got a few more, of course, I'll distribute to Dr. Halimah in the interest of time.
Shiva,
Yes, please.
I have a question.
Sure, please carry on. If you don't mind.
Halimah?
Yeah, can. Please go ahead.
Let me first compliment you for having covered such a wonderful theme in your framework. Particularly, what was very interesting was 3Q, PQ, EQ.
The treaties.
Treaties.
Okay.
That was really wonderful framework. Right?
That's my own developed framework, yeah.
I must appreciate that. Slowly I must go into touch upon that particular aspect when my turn comes.
Thank you so much.
Risk your party. The two major ways that any country runs into the implementation of AI is number one, social cost. Social cost. The society has